There's a philosophy at the heart of the Labor Party that they'll never admit out loud, but reveals itself in every policy they touch. We know better than you. Better than you how to raise your kids. Better than you what to eat and drink. Better than you how to spend your money. Better than you how to live your life. They're not governing, they're managing, micromanaging. And the question nobody in labor seems able to answer is this: why can't they just leave us alone? Let's catalog the interventions, shall we? Because the list is getting absurdly long. Smoking in pub gardens? Labor wants to ban it. Never mind that you're outdoors, never mind that these businesses are already struggling, never mind that adults should be able to make their own choices. No, the state knows better. Junk food advertising? Restricted, because apparently seeing an advert for crisps turns the British public into helpless zombies incapable of resisting. We need the government to protect us from persuasion. Graphics showing various taxes and restrictions. Sugar tax, salt regulations, calorie labeling everywhere, restrictions on meal deals, plans to ban energy drink sales to under 18s, plans to regulate online content, talk of banning smartphones for children, mandatory relationship education. The list goes on and on and on. Pause. Each one, taken individually, comes with the same justification. It's for your own good. We're protecting public health. Think of the children. And each one, taken individually, seems almost reasonable. But step back and look at the pattern. This isn't governance. This is a determination to control every aspect of how people live. Here's what really galling about the nanny state mentality, the fundamental assumption underlining every intervention, that you, the ordinary British citizen, are too stupid to make good decisions for yourself. Can't be trusted to decide what to feed your kids? We'll regulate the food industry. Can't be trusted to manage your own health? We'll tax the things you enjoy. Can't be trusted to assess risk? We'll ban anything that might possibly be harmful. And who's making these decisions? Civil servants who've never run a business, politicians who live in a bubble of privilege, health experts who see the world through the narrow lens of their specialty, people who genuinely believe that a perfect society is one where every risk is eliminated, every temptation removed, every choice made for you. But here's the reality they refuse to acknowledge. People aren't children. Adults have the right to make bad decisions. Freedom includes the freedom to eat junk food, to smoke, to drink, to do things that aren't optimal for your health. That's what freedom means. And a government that can't accept that isn't interested in governing free people. It's interested in managing subjects. Historical footage of previous government overreach, slippery slope examples. Narrator. The pattern is always the same. It starts with something seemingly reasonable, just a small intervention, just this one thing, for the greater good. Remember when indoor smoking bans were introduced? It's just in enclosed spaces to protect workers. Now, Labor is talking about banning smoking in pub gardens, in parks, potentially on beaches. The slope isn't slippery, it's a cliff. Social media censorship, online safety bills, surveillance expansion. Or look at online regulation. Started with protecting children from harmful content. Who could argue with that? Now it's morphed into government bodies determining what adults are allowed to see online. Misinformation that needs to be controlled. Harmful content that must be regulated. Financial regulations, tracking, digital ID proposals. Pause. Each step seems small. Each justification sounds reasonable, but add them all together and you're looking at a society where the government has its fingers in every pie, monitoring every choice, ready to intervene at any moment they decide you're not behaving correctly. This is how authoritarian societies develop, not through dramatic coups, but through 1,000 small encroachments that people accept because each one individually seems minor. Small business owners, compliance forms, struggling pubs and restaurants. Narrator. And here's what the nanny statists never consider: the cost, not just in freedom, but in actual pounds and pence. Every regulation means paperwork. Every restriction means compliance costs. Every new rule means businesses spending time and money proving they're following it. Small businesses, the pubs, the cafes, the independent shops, are drowning in regulatory requirements. That pub that might close because Labor bans smoking in the garden, real jobs, real livelihoods, real communities. But the nanny state doesn't care because they've never had to make a payroll, never had to choose between regulatory compliance and keeping the lights on. And it's not just businesses, it's ordinary people. The single mom trying to stretch a budget who now can't buy a meal deal because Labor's changed the rules. The worker who enjoyed a cigarette after a long shift, who's now treated like a criminal. The family that enjoyed a night out that's now so expensive because of taxes and restrictions that they stay home instead. These policies have real consequences for real people, but from the ivory towers of Westminster, those people are just statistics, data points in a public health study, not actual humans trying to live their lives. Ordinary people in everyday life, playing with kids, sharing a pint, enjoying simple pleasures. Narrator, here's the fundamental question that Labor can't answer. In a free society, who gets to decide how you live? You or them? Because right now, the answer from this government is clear. Them. They decide what you eat, what you drink, what you see, what you say, where you smoke, how you raise your kids, how you spend your money. These interfering nanny statists genuinely believe they're making the world better, that if they just regulate enough, tax enough, ban enough, restrict enough, they'll create a perfect society where nobody makes bad choices and everyone lives healthy, optimal lives. But that's not life. That's not freedom. That's not what most people want. Most people just want to be left alone to make their own decisions, take their own risks, live their own lives. End. So here's the message to Labor. We're adults. We can make our own choices. And if we wanted parents, we'd move back home. Why can't you just leave us alone?